An AI model just coded non-stop for 19 days straight. One task, $2,600, no human touching it. So what's the thing that actually makes an agent reliable enough to trust like that? This is the Agentic Daily Brief. That question is already loud in today's news. OpenAI shipped its new GPT 5.6 lineup, and here's the twist. You can't have it. Access is locked to a handful of partners the company had to clear with the US government first, an arrangement OpenAI called, in its own words, unsustainable. Their flagship, Sol, slightly beats Anthropic's top model on agent coding while burning far fewer output tokens. But most of us just can't touch it. This isn't a one-off either. Anthropic's two strongest models have been dark for 2 weeks now, pulled under a June 12th export order, even from the company's own non-US staff. Negotiations with the Trump administration are stuck, so the frontier is getting better and harder to reach in the same breath. Which lands us right on the real question. If the very best models are locked behind a government gate, what actually decides whether your agent works? Let's start inside GitHub. GitHub built an internal agent called Qubot. The pitch is lovely. Any employee types a plain English question, and the thing queries the company data warehouse and hands back an answer. No analyst, no SQL. The problem they hit, though? The agent kept picking the wrong table. Confident answer, wrong number. Now you'd assume the fix is better search, right? Throw smarter retrieval at it, pull in more documents, done. That's not what worked. What worked was sitting domain experts down to handwrite the context. Which table means what? Which filter is the right one? How the data actually fits together. They call it curated context, meaning knowledge a human shaped on purpose. The payoff? Roughly 3 times faster at returning the right answer. Not a new model. The same model, fed knowledge somebody curated by hand. The agent's accuracy lived in the context they curated, not the search they bolted on. GitHub wasn't alone here. Siemens hit the same wall with hundreds of millions of lines of old code, and Amazon's been saying the quiet part out loud. Without that business context, agents give, in their phrasing, confident wrong answers. So if your agent keeps being sure and wrong, the honest read is, the gap probably isn't its brain. It's what you've taught it about your world. And teaching it is real, ongoing human work, not a quick index you flip on. Okay, a hand-fed model can be sharp, but which model? Because that choice just got a lot more interesting. For a long time, the answer was easy. Reach for the closed frontier, pay the bill, move on. Then GLM 5.2 showed up. It's an open-weight model out of a lab called Z.AI, and the researcher Nathan Lambert called it the step change for open agents. The first open model that actually runs reliably as a general agent inside a coding setup, day in, day out. Engineers at Vercel called it a DeepSeek moment. That's a big deal. Here's the part that surprised me. You'd think open and cheaper per token means cheaper, full stop. It doesn't. To reach that frontier-level result, GLM generated about a quarter more code and took roughly double the time. So the cheap tokens get eaten by the sheer volume of them.
My read. The more interesting question isn't which model is best anymore. It's where each task should run. What's the cost, the speed? Who controls the data? But don't mistake a low sticker price for a low bill. Running this thing yourself needs something like 8 heavy data center chips. So for most people, the real path is a routing service. A tool that sends each job to the right model, not buying a server room. One last story before you go. And it's the one that should make you a little nervous. You've put a coding agent to work and you got careful. You boxed it in a sandbox.
A locked container so it can't wreck the host machine. Feels safe. Is it though? Here's the uncomfortable part. A locked box stops the agent's code from breaking out. It does nothing about the keys in the agent's pocket. Permit.io's Authorization put it sharply. An agent doesn't need to break out of the box if it already holds a token that can merge to your main branch or push to production. That's the blast radius nobody sizes right. It's not the container, it's the credentials. The most damaging incident won't be some movie-style breakout. It'll be your agent, quietly misusing a real, legitimate key it was handed in the first place. So where's the fix? Wise's answer: start the agent with 0 standing power. No keys sitting in its pocket by default. Grant a capability only when the task needs it, scoped tight, and let it expire on its own. The catch, of course, that plumbing is real work to build. And it only helps if you can actually list every key the agent can reach, including the side doors. But the framing alone is worth carrying. Hardening the box answers what the agent can run. It says nothing about what it can do. Before you go, one thing worth trying this week. Take your most used agent and just write down every credential it can touch. Not the container, not the model, the keys, tokens, cloud access, the side channels through connected tools. If that list is longer than you expected, you just found your real blast radius. One more thing, a talk worth your time. Isadora Martin-Dye gave a sharp one on controlling an AI agent's brand voice. Her core idea: don't cram every rule into one prompt. Split it into layers and put a deterministic check at the very end. Plain code that reads the actual output and can veto a hallucinated date or a privacy leak before it ever reaches a customer. The order of those layers, she argues, is load-bearing. Back to where we started. An agent coded for 19 days, untouched. The best models locked behind a government gate. And across every story today, the thing that decided whether an agent worked wasn't the raw model at all. It was the knowledge you fed it, the place you ran it, and the keys you let it hold. That's today's Agentic Daily Brief. Brought to you by Agent Native Engineering. Open knowledge for building and running AI agents. The full write-ups, with their sources, are at agentnativeengineering.com. See you next time.